In 2006, NVIDIA spent billions of dollars developing a technology that most investors thought was a complete waste of money. At the time, they were a graphics card company, making hardware to help video games look more realistic. But their CEO, Jensen Huang, wanted to do something that seemed impossible. He wanted to teach those gaming cards to think. Why would a company dominate a profitable niche only to bet its entire future on a market that didn't even exist yet? To understand this gamble, we have to look at the brain of a computer. For decades, the central processing unit, or CPU, was the king. It is a general-purpose processor designed to handle one complex task at a time, like a brilliant professor solving a difficult math equation. But NVIDIA specialized in the graphics processing unit, or GPU. A GPU is different. It isn't a single brilliant professor. It is thousands of elementary school students all doing simple addition at the same exact time. This is called parallel processing. In the world of gaming, this is perfect for rendering pixels. To show a single frame of a game, the computer has to calculate the color and position of millions of pixels simultaneously. Jensen Huang realized that if you could use that same parallel power for things other than games, like scientific simulations or complex data, you could change the world of computing forever. NVIDIA's answer was CUDA. Launched in 2006, CUDA was a software platform that allowed developers to use NVIDIA GPUs for general-purpose tasks. Essentially, it turned a gaming card into a supercomputer. But there was a problem. Nobody was asking for this. For years, the gamble looked like a disaster. Developing CUDA was incredibly expensive, requiring a massive overhaul of NVIDIA's hardware architecture. It added cost to every chip they sold, but for the average gamer, it provided zero benefit. Investors were furious. Between 2008 and 2013, NVIDIA's stock price languished, often trading at a fraction of its former value. Critics called it a solution looking for a problem. It was a dark period where the company was spending its profits to build a bridge to a destination that wasn't on the map. Then, the world changed. In the early 2010s, researchers in the field of artificial intelligence hit a wall. They were trying to build neural networks, digital systems modeled after the human brain, but traditional CPUs were too slow to train them. They discovered that the exact architecture NVIDIA had spent a decade perfecting was the perfect engine for modern AI. The parallel processing that once calculated the light reflecting off a digital blade of grass was now the only way to process the trillions of data points required for deep learning. Suddenly, NVIDIA wasn't just a gaming company. They were the only company on Earth with the hardware and the software ecosystem ready to power the AI revolution. By the time the rest of the silicon industry realized what was happening, it was too late. NVIDIA had spent a decade building a massive moat. Because they had forced CUDA into the market so early, an entire generation of software developers and AI researchers had already built their work on NVIDIA's platform. If you wanted to build an AI, you had to use NVIDIA. This strategic stubbornness turned NVIDIA into the backbone of the modern world. Today, their chips power everything from ChatGPT to the data centers of Google and Microsoft. A company once known for teenagers playing games is now one of the most valuable businesses in human history. NVIDIA succeeded because they didn't just build a better product, they built a foundation for a future that no one else believed in. It is a reminder that in business, the greatest rewards don't come from following the current market, but from having the courage to build the tools for a market that hasn't been born yet. While NVIDIA was busy building the brain of the future, another company was proving that you don't always need high-tech innovation to win. Sometimes the most powerful business strategy is as simple as a hot dog. Next time, we look at why Costco refuses to change a single price point, even if it means losing millions.